Alright guys, welcome to another episode of Everyday Survival, an informative guide of surviving in everyday situations. Now, to kick off my new series, my first ever video is going to be Zombie Survival. Alright, and let's get over the basic fact that there are thousands of different ways people have written or video or even just discussed on how to survive a zombie scenario. Today, I'm going to be going over the most basic of them all, and the simplest, but also smartest. There are many ways you can do this, and you can't account for scenario changes. Anything could happen at any time. That's why I'm here to discuss with you how to survive those times. But first thing I'm going to be going over with is the very first thing you should always have handy: weapons. Now, I couldn't use guns in this video for legal reasons, state law according, but got replicas. The first thing I have for you is an exact replica, working gears and everything, of a Beretta handgun. This model is a .45 caliber handgun. Now, there are many reasons for such a high caliber. Normally, in most cases, I'd say any gun in any other's topic, like a home invasion, this would be great for them. Anything lower than a .45 would be great. Anything above, perfect. But when facing a zombie, the best thing you should always have is at least a .45 caliber. Because, think of it like this. The human skull is one of the hardest things on Earth. It is extremely hard to penetrate. And anything lower than a .45 will probably just nick the skull. It might look like it hit him, but it probably won't. With a .45, you are guaranteed penetration through the brain, killing the zombie effectively. But in any case, guys, you should never, ever just use a handgun. Alright? Something like this. Out of most casualties in a zombie case, people who have died have usually had some form of handgun attached to them or in their hands. The fact of it is, handguns just aren't that strong. I mean, sure, they're popular, they're cheap, they're in great supply, but if it comes down to it, a handgun's not the only weapon you should have. What I would always suggest is a rifle. Preferably a hunting rifle. I mean, you don't need some great weapon of destruction and chaos and carnage. That's just stupid. Why have some overpriced weapon that might just break when you can have a cheap, reliable weapon in your hands? Not only that, both the scope and the high-powered rounds you're going to be firing are more guaranteed to kill. All that, but let's say you're out of ammo. Turn the gun around and smack them with the barrel. Do something. Or just stand there and die. Now, next, I'm going over melee weapons. First of which is a knife. Now, as you know, this is actually a throwing knife. Popular, cheap, but hard to use. Unless you're some foreign master of strength and greatness. I mean, come on. Are you going to use the throwing knife, just throw it at a head? I mean, come on. There's no chance, if even a minimal one, that when you throw this thing, it's going to go through their skull. Just won't happen. Now, in a lot of cases, a knife can be a good weapon too. Let's say you were going to use it to stab them, and not just throw it, but stab them. I would suggest, on top of the head, put one hand on top of the head, thrust up with the other. Break the brain casing, and if you're more than one, leave it there. draw another weapon. If you have one, if not, run. Just run like hell.